Gold. Real assets, real value.
Hi guys, it's Friday. It's the 30th of January 2026. So much is happening right now, none more so than what's happening in the world of gold and silver. Something I've been talking about now for 5 years. But we're seeing the way that gold and silver have risen in price dramatically over the past few months. But also how America is desperately trying to suppress the price because they bet against it and they're now being exposed. And if you imagine in very simple terms, a child with a helium balloon, China is supplying the helium, and America is the child trying to pull it back down to earth again. And the beauty of what's happening right now is at no time during the day are the China markets and the American markets awake at the same time, because the time difference between the two, between New York and Beijing, is 11 hours. So China's day has finished before America's open. So when America wakes up, they look at the price of gold and silver and they promptly visit the toilet because they are that scared, because the price has gone through the roof. And what is happening by the price going through the roof? It's destroying the US dollar. It's destroying the Federal Reserve. But don't panic. This is all part of the plan. This is all part of the plan to collapse the old system, because the people who used to control the money are losing control. Their control is disappearing, and we're moving into the golden age. Drew, good morning.
Good morning, Charlie. Good morning, everyone. My first story is Viktor Orban has exposed Keir Starmer with his secret plotting with the EU to sneak Britain back in without telling the people. Westminster is in meltdown.
Well, they are. And this is the sort of surreptitious nature of Keir Starmer, that he goes behind the backs of the British people, has a meeting in secret, or so he thought, with the EU to reintegrate the UK back into the EU under their control. But this is all part of the pantomime. This is all part of the exposure. This is all part of the process to wake the British people up. The British people are actually very hard to wake up. And thankfully, the young men in the UK are waking up. And while I'm talking about the young men, I'm going to shout out to Montgomery Toms, who was going around universities talking to people, just trying to communicate with both sides. Not only was he attacked viciously, the police did not defend him, and they arrested him for they said for inciting these people. You're provoking them. And he wasn't. He was there to talk. He was there to communicate. The one thing that we learn on this whole journey, those on the right are right, and they're willing to talk. Those on the left are left behind, and the only way to get back to anyone is to attack. We've seen it in America, we've seen it in the UK, we've seen it in Europe. These people, their way to resolve a problem is to attack, to murder, to kill, to injure. Is that the world you want to live in? It's not the world I want to live in. Drew.
Well, Keir Starmer, he does a lot with his back door. Next up, a convicted Islamist extremist is running for local office in Birmingham. Shahid Butt, previously jailed over a terror plot in Yemen, saying voters should ignore his past and calls himself the ideal candidate. But he's under fire after telling young supporters to knock their enemies' teeth out if confronted. He denies terror wrongdoing, but the backlash is still growing fast as election day approaches.
This is all part of the pantomime. because the British people are very, very hard to wake up. And there's a reason for that. Because the British people, because of the weather, tend to sit on the sofa and watch the television. So they're very, very easy to manipulate their thought process, because they just sit there and watch the telly because there's nothing better to do. Slightly different for us in Spain. When we have nice weather, we're out and about, so we don't have the time to watch the telly. So we're not as programmed. But a very, very important story. And another British story which should wake people up. But the problem is with the British people, you can't say anything to them about the royal family because they love the kiddie fiddlers that are the British royal family, allegedly. But there's a piece of land that's owned by King Charles in Bickershaw, Wigan, where 25,000 tons of toxic waste has been dumped right next to people's houses. And Prince Charles is doing nothing about it. Now, this is all part of the pantomime to wake people up in the dismantling of the old system, the British Empire, the British royal family. But it will get more and more extreme until you wake up to who they really are. My question is very simple. Are you awake yet? That was the news on Friday, the 30th of January, 2026. Have a wonderful weekend and join us on the Insiders Club on Saturday to find out what's really going on. We'll see you there.
Bye-bye.
These are the facts, not put out by mainstream media. If you want to know the truth, we put out the truth every single day, Monday to Friday. Saturdays and Sundays we spend with our families, as we should do. So if you want to know the truth, come to charlieward.com and see real news daily. And join the Insiders Club, which is live on Wednesdays and Saturdays. Noble Gold for those that are based in America and Canada. And for those in the UK and Europe, we have Orvesta. Get yours now. Charlies.gold.